Right, buddy. Manchester United obviously face Leeds. Easily going to be a five thing to look at. We'll be talking about Leeds, Manchester United, the game, what some quotes from Ruben Amorim, and much more. But it's a massive game for Manchester United. Another opportunity to get 3 points. You look at the results that have happened um, today. I mean, I haven't really affected United. Aston Villa won. I think Wolves got their first win, but that was really about it. Now let's look at the teams, the Manchester United team anyway, going into the game. Now, the team that started against Wolves, again, I think I've mentioned this. I was actually at Old Trafford to watch the game, and I thought, listen, the back five we should have never started with the back five. I think in one of our better performances of the season, we played with a back four against Newcastle. Yes, the second half wasn't great, but the first half was very, very good. Now, do I think Ruben Amorim will stay with that back five? I honestly don't know. I'm gonna predict that he's gonna stay with the back five, considering he went with the back five in the last game, and you can only really go off the last game. Now, in terms of the team, Le Mans will remain in goal. Back five, I've gone Shaw, Martinez, Heaven as the back three. I've gone Dorgu and Dallo as the wing backs. In midfield, I've gone Casemiro, Ugarte. Again, you need to be on it with that midfield. Tanaka, Gruev, Stack. Obviously, Ampadu suspended for them. There's players in there who can cause problems and get moments on the board. And I think that defensive sort of mind of Ugarte and Casemiro in that midfield would help Manchester United in terms of defending, especially from Leeds. The two number 10s I'd go with would be Cunha and I'd go Xerxes. I think Cunha is someone who needs to drop into that midfield to help out and also get in pockets of space that Leeds will give Manchester United. Xerxes again, I think he's checked out United. I don't know if Jack Fletcher or Montanto or Shea Lacey is going to start. I don't think they will, so I think he would go with Xerxes as the more experienced player. And obviously Sesko through the middle. I think it's a big game for Sesko. He should have scored against Wolves, 1 or 2 goals. He should have scored against Newcastle. We need to see a bit more from Sesko is what I'm saying. He's looked quite Hoylandish in the past few games that he's been playing. And I think he needs a lot more from Manchester United need to see a lot more from him. So yeah, Sesko should start. Listen, Leeds have a very physical defence. Bornau, Bio, Strauch, they're physical defenders, and Ekatike struggled against them. He had a good game, but in terms of physical duels, he did struggle in the last game for Leeds against Liverpool. Now let's look at United's threat. I think it comes from Cunha in this game. He's the player that I've highlighted in this game who needs to step up. I believe there will be pockets and avenues of space we can go into and create opportunities for this Manchester United team. I mean, we're missing more or less every other creative player in this squad. No Mount, no Mbermo, no Ahmad, no Bruno Fernandes, no Mainu, who's a creator at times. Like, we are missing a lot of creative players. So I think we do need Cunha to step up. And he has, in the last few games, I thought against Wolves he was very poor. Newcastle was all right, but it's not really what you want to see from from Cunha. So we need him to step up in this game. In terms of other threats where you can exploit them, they play a five at the back or a three at the back system, but they are very interchangeable leads. They can go with a four, they can go with a five. But again, I think it's going to come from putting crosses into the box. And I think, in fairness to United against Wolves, we did put a few crosses into the box. Sesko should have scored at least one of those headers that were put in. I think it was Dorgu. I think it was Dorgu and Shaw who put the crosses in, but Casemiro. Someone. Oh no, it was a Casemiro Trivela cross that you put, and I think it was Dorgu who put a cross in for Sesko. So crosses were going into the box. I think you definitely need to utilise that, as well as set pieces as well. But we also need to defend, which that leads me on to Leeds. Now Leeds, they've had 2 draws against Liverpool. Yeah, they'd be without their captain who's suspended for this game. But if you look at their last few results, they beat Palace, smashed them 4-1. They got a draw against Sunderland, who have been very, very good. Draw against Leeds. They're actually unbeaten in their last 6 games. Their last defeat was in at the end of November against Manchester City. But they've looked very, very good away from home, and at home. Now, if you look at Leeds' home record this season, 9 games at home, 4 wins, 3 draws, 2 losses. So 15 of their 21 points have been picked up at home, so their home form is very, very good. Now, in terms of their team, and their sort of players that are very, very good, obviously they rested Okafor and Calvert-Lewin. So again, how do you deal with that? I think you have to just be physical and aggressive, and that's down to Heaven and Martinez to be aggressive in terms of winning those duels against him. I also think Um, the midfield is very, very important. Gruev, decent player. Stack as well, someone who's popped up with goals here and there. They like to get crosses into the box, and there is a tough derby game for Manchester United. So I expect it to be a game for Manchester United where we are going to struggle. Ultimately, Leeds are a very good team. But again, if you look at their average possession per game, I think that's something to always look at. In terms of possessions per game, it's 46%, which is 13th in the league. United is 53%. So listen, possession, I expect United to probably dominate most of the possession. But yeah, I mean, Leeds, in terms of clean sheets, 3 clean sheets. Obviously, United have 2, so they only have 1 more than Manchester United. In terms of goals scored, goals conceded per match, 1.7 goals they concede per match, which again is not great. For Leeds, you don't want to be conceding that many sort of goals in a game because it does show that you are struggling. And defensively, listen, they do play that 3-back system, as I've mentioned, but it is going to be a struggle to kind of get at that lead side because defensively they are quite solid. And as I said, in terms of goals, goals conceded and all that stuff, you look at goals scored per match, how many goals they score. Well, expected goals 27.7 and goals per match 1.3, which is 13th in the league. So again, I do think there are going to be goals. Let's look to the fourth thing to expect from this game, and I expect obviously a physical game, and I think United need to be on it because that midfield is going to be problems. We know Casemiro and Ugarte's limitations. They got overrun massively against Wolves. I think it was Mane, was it Arias as well, who were causing problems in that midfield for Wolves, bypassing Casemiro, bypassing Ugarte, just with strong, powerful runs, and that's the concern all season. I think United definitely need to strengthen that midfield, and improve the quality in midfield. But again, we can do. I think them missing Ampadu is a huge miss. He is their captain. He's a player who's played a lot of their games. So again, I think United definitely need to exploit that. Now that leads me on to the fifth and final thing, which is the result. Now, what do I think the result will be? Now, Leeds last game was a 0-0. The last game they played against Manchester United obviously was pre-season, and it was a 0-0 in that game. The last time we played them in the league was 2023. Manchester United beat them 2-0 at Ellen Road. Before that, Ellen Road, we beat them 4-2. And then before that, at Ellen Road again, it was 0-0. So United have a pretty decent record at Ellen Road. I'm going to back United to get the win. I think it's going to be 2-1. I think there will be goals for both teams. I think Leeds will definitely score. United have only kept 2 clean sheets this season. But again, on the bonus side of being with both Le Mans, both times being in goal. But I do expect it to be a tricky game. Great atmosphere, but I'm hoping the 3 points, it's all that matters really, and hopefully we can just get out 3 points and move on. Let me know your thoughts and predictions.